I just had so much more passion for the IUL because I feel like it's the product of the future. And the more that you study it, the more that you learn about it, the more that you understand it inside and out. It is just, it's, to me, it's bulletproof. Like there is nothing that someone can tell me about an IUL. They'll say certain things, and it's kind of like debunking the myth on everything. There's always so many people that try to debunk IULs and say why there's certain things that are wrong with them, and their argument just doesn't hold water. So if you have any of those, just let me know, and we can certainly go through them step by step, and I can show you why they're wrong and why IULs are the number one selling product in the industry right now.
All right, everybody, Grady Polson here, the America Agency. Beyond excited for our call today with Mr. Larry Mallek, and I said earlier, one of the carrier reps, but that's such like a backhanded non-compliment. Like Larry is one of the funnest, most caring, charismatic, enjoyable people to work with in the insurance industry. Very knowledgeable, been around the industry for some time now. Sold, recruited, done all these things, and now he supports one of the top IUL companies in the industry, F&G, and they've got phenomenal IUL, great pay, great, all illustrations, all the things you could want from a IUL carrier, great swag, great carrier partner, and just a great guy. But on top of that, their company is an incredible company, one of the top tier names you would recognize, your clients would recognize, they've heard of. And that's really what we're going for is, as always, when we're in a sales interaction as an agent, right, we're trying to build credibility and reduce sales pressure. And when you're representing top brands, and, not that Bob's Insurance Co. from Northern Omaha isn't a great insurance company, but F&G is just better. So that's one of the things that we strive to is at FFL is to put you in a position with top tier carriers to make sure your clients have great quality products, but that they are comfortable with you off the bat as their broker. So without further ado, Mr. Larry Mallek, how you doing today, buddy?
I am doing great. Better now, but hey, we make it work. We just make it work, right?
We're making it work, man. So
absolutely.
So for those of you that don't, for those that don't know you, that don't know of you, and are new to our company and are excited to get to know more about you and F&G,
sure.
China will have a PowerPoint up shortly. I think she's waiting. Doesn't have it. She's waiting for it to come through the old interwebs. But
okay.
We'll get. Let's share with us what we got going on.
Sure. So just a little bit about myself. Like Grady was saying, I've been in the industry for a little while. I started out with AIG, if you all know that company. Now they're called Corebridge. But what I did when I first started with them was selling over the phone. So for all you people that are doing virtual sales and over the phone sales, I got your back. I know what it's like. I did it for 2.5 years, got to be extremely good at it. And then I got promoted to an internal position on the wholesaling side. So it was probably a savior for me because another couple of years of that, and I probably would have burnt out really bad with the industry. When you're making 150 calls a day, you're writing 5 to 10 policies every single day. It gets really taxing on you. So I feel for you guys, and I really appreciate the kind of work that you guys do in the field and over the phones. And so I understand what it's like on your side. I love the IUL side. The reason I came to F&G is because I was with, when I was as an external with AIG Corebridge, I was working on the final expense team. And although final expense, I think, is a great product, it's a necessary product. I just had so much more passion for the IUL because I feel like it's the product of the future. And the more that you study it, the more that you learn about it, the more that you understand it inside and out. It is just, to me, it's bulletproof. Like there is nothing that someone can tell me about an IUL. They'll say certain things, and it's kind of like debunking the myth on everything. There's always so many people that try to debunk IULs and say why there's certain things that are wrong with them, and their argument just doesn't hold water. So if you have any of those, just let me know, and we can certainly go through them step by step, and I can show you why they're wrong and why IULs are the number one selling product in the industry right now. So again, if you have any questions after all this, Grady has my cell number, my email, everything. I share it openly with everyone because as many of you have questions, a lot of you won't reach out and ask them. So the ones that do are usually the ones that are producing anyway. So we like to work with the producers, right? So why F&G? What makes us special? And what makes us different? And I guess the one thing that I can say is, like, why do you go to Starbucks for coffee, right? Because every single time you're going to get a consistently really good product, and there's it's available everywhere just about. But you have your favorites things, and you love to have the same thing, and what you're getting. And there's a reason that Starbucks has obviously exploded over the last 20, 30 years, and it's because they put out a better product than everybody else, and they also have great employees that that sell that product. They train their employees better than anyone, and I feel like we have such a really kind of a similar situation at F&G. We only do IUL and annuity, right? We don't touch term, we don't touch final expense. We only do IUL and annuity. And when people ask us, so how come your IULs outperform everyone all the time? And I'm like, that's why. It's because we're a specialty company. We specialize just in IULs and annuities. We don't have a tremendous amount of overhead when it comes to other things, like term and final expense and just all the processing that's involved in all those other types of policies, right? So I just say we do two things. We do them extremely well. In the recent history, we just added 2 new indexes to our system. And this is another thing that Grady's talking. I keep calling you Brady. Grady's talking about name recognition and building that rapport with your clients. Well, we added a couple of names that you're definitely going to recognize. One of them is Morgan Stanley. Is one of our indexes that you can invest in, and then the other one is BlackRock. So if you haven't heard of BlackRock or Morgan Stanley, you've been living under a black rock for a long time, because they're the two largest money managers in the world. And we're incredibly excited about these 2 new indexes we have, because it just puts forth an even better product for your clients. And we actually beat our own illustration by about 25% over our old things. Okay. Oh, hey, there's a PowerPoint. Look at that. She got it. You can go to the next slide if you want. There you go. It's kind of a cool model to experience the power of collaborative thinking. So the one cool thing about F&G is that it's more of I would say it's a newer company, kind of established in 1959. So there's not a lot of, way back history. Can't say we've been around for 200 years, but so a lot of companies like Facebook and Tesla and SpaceX, all those companies haven't been around that long either, but they're the largest companies on the planet. Amazon is a perfect example. Nobody goes to Sears anymore, right? They all go to Amazon, right? So we're the newest, but we're probably the youngest in the industry, but we're also the most innovative. And we have hired what I consider is the smartest people in the industry to come work for us. So we all collaborate, we all get together and have some great ideas together. So why F&G? Again, we're the number 1 performing IUL in the marketplace. So the Pathsetter, although it's not a new product, the indexes are brand new that we have. The Pathsetter, for anyone that's looking for cash accumulation, no one can outperform the Pathsetter. If it's constructed the right way and you use the right indexes, there's absolutely no other IUL in the industry that's going to show a better cash value accumulation than the Pathsetter does. So we were number 1 in a lot of cells before, like a lot of age brackets and face amounts before these 2 new indexes. Now we're number 1 in every single one. Okay, so not to pat ourselves on the back, but there's going to be a lot of other carriers that are going to be scrambling to try to find a way to even come close to matching with us. And so that's why F&G. And then why IULs? Well, if you're new to the industry and you start with an IUL, I'm so jealous because of all the crap that we've gone through on the sales thing, selling term and selling final expense and all that stuff. And having a great sales month, only for the next month, about 50% of it goes off the books again. And you have to basically keep building and building and building, as opposed to selling an IUL to someone, and about 9 out of 10 cases will stay on the books. So our persistency with Family First and basically across the industry is close to 90%. Wow. So everything you sell stays on the books. And it's just an incredible product that you can have. I don't think there's any other product out there that has that type of persistency, so that's why you sell that. And then partnering with us, why partner with F&G? Well, you get me, you get my full attention. I only have one account, and that's Family First Life. Okay. There's very few other carrier reps you can ask, hey, how many accounts do you have? And they only say, I only have a Family First, right? They all have other accounts that they manage and they split their time with. I'm not splitting time with anyone. You guys have my full and undivided attention. So I live and die with your sales. Just so you know, I have a daughter that just started college. It's a really expensive college. So I need you guys to make sales in order for my daughter to continue on her educational journey. So, not to put any pressure on you, but
none taken.
Yeah. Baby needs tuition. But so I'm really excited. That just happened like about 3 or 4 months ago, where I got rid of all my other accounts. I had 3 or 4 other ones, and now I can just focus completely on Family First Life. So I'm really excited. We're gonna, obviously try to get out to, Phoenix area and wherever you guys are a little more frequently next year, because I don't have anything else, tying me down. But definitely will be at the annual convention. And if you don't go to the annual convention, just pack it in, because that is like one of the coolest things that you can do, is just to go and be around the people that are all, have been in your spot before. If you're brand new, there's going to be people that even 6-7 months ago were brand new to the industry. And because they plugged into the system like Grady has, it's just an incredible system to plug into. And you can see people going from basically changing their entire life because they plugged into a system. They believed in what Family First Life had to offer, and they followed the plan. They don't reinvent the wheel. They just ride along with it. And you'll hear from so many of those people at annual convention that are going to just, share their stories with you. And then you go up and meet them. And the greatest thing about this organization is that you're not competing against those people. Those people are happy to help you, right? It's just such a crazy thing to think that, they don't care that if they give you all their secrets, right? Because they don't really have any secrets. They're basically doing what their upline taught them to do, and so on and so on. And it's really just the people that have that constant activity that do well. So why do you partner with us? Well, we're, again, extremely committed. We have a dedicated external. Amy is my internal. She does have one other account, but we're more important. But Amy is incredible because she's available in front of her computer to help with illustrations, to help with training. And she can do webinars for individuals or like smaller groups of people. And then also we also have 16 people dedicated answering the phones for any questions on illustrations, on product, on applications, how to do everything. So our inside sales team is incredible. They're absolutely amazing. We also have what I think is very important, a really good risk assessment team. So if you have questions about underwriting, if you're not sure about medication on one case or another, you can either send an email or you can call into the sales desk, and they'll get you over to risk assessment, and they can give you an answer on your condition of your client. Because if it's something where we're for sure they're never going to get approved with us, then we're not wasting time. But it's also if we think, hey, yeah, this has a really good shot, then that you can apply with us, and chances are you're going to get an approval. So risk assessment's a great thing to have. So this is our sales team. This is Ben Holmes, is my boss. He is actually with Sean Mike right now down in Cabo. They had this big, huge convention. Now, I wouldn't say big, huge. It's just we invited all the leaders from all the top IMOs in the country, and Sean was there with Ben and Ben's boss and Ben's boss's boss and Ben's boss's boss's boss. So we basically had the president of FG Life was there of F&G. So that's how important it is for us to get collaboration from the top down. So they sat and talked to Sean for hours this last weekend and the last couple of days, and he's super committed to F&G and partnering with us just on the IUL side, and we're really excited about it. And then you have me, and then there's Amy. So that is our sales team. You can go to the next slide. This is what we have started for you guys. So this is very exciting to me, not just because I love to travel, but I love to incentivize people that really work and do a great job. We are doing, again, we're doing a top producer meeting, a meeting. It's a trip to Scotland, for God's sakes. It's not a meet, it's a meeting. Yeah, we're going to have a probably 2-hour meeting one day just so we can say it's a meeting. But we're taking the top 10 agents and a guest to Edinburgh, Scotland. We're going to do some really cool events, and we're going to do, just bond with each other and create great and deep relationships. Now this one ends December 31st, so this one has been going since April. We are doing another one that will start January 1st and go until December. So there's going to be another kind of overlapping trip, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to announce it, but it's I don't care. No, don't tell on me. Is this being recorded? Yeah, probably.
Oh, maybe.
No, tentatively, I'm gonna say tentatively because that's the politically way to say it. We might be going to Portugal, so that's gonna be a really cool trip.
Oh wow!
And we'll have a bigger budget for that because FFL has been increasing their sales with us, and so we're looking to take the top 20 people to Portugal. It might be 15, but I'm trying to push to get the top 20.
Top managers. Top managers promoting.
We don't know. I think we're going to include some management into that trip, but as of right now, this one that we currently have is just the production. But yeah, I think that trip should include the top managers as well. So that's a great point. So it might be, let's say, 15 of the top producing agents and 5 of the top managers, which makes a lot of sense, right?
I agree.
But this is not like your other carrier incentive trips, right? Because it's just for Family First Life. Awesome. There's no other IMOs going on this trip, just you guys. And so that just kind of shows you how dedicated we are to Family First Life and making this relationship a really strong bond, because we know the potential that's there and just the quality of the agents and the quality of the organization. So that's what's really cool about this trip. I keep trying to click through to the next slide, but so this is an important slide, and this is basically all we have to talk about, really. Some of this is ancient because the Barclays is still on there, and it's not that the Barclays is bad, it's just the new ones are better. But so very strong performance, with high caps, reliable cap history. We have not had a cap move more than 50 basis points from its initial cap in our history. So I don't think any other carrier, no other insurance company can say that. So when we set a cap, we set it with the mindset that we're not changing that thing, right? And even with interest rates going crazy the last few years, our caps have not changed more than 0.5%. So that's an incredible history. The second one down to me is very, very important. And if you're new, you're not going to really understand this yet. But if you've sold IULs and you're always talking about how much money someone can get out tax-free at retirement, right? Well, we have on our variable loan, which is the participating loan, we have a maximum of a 5% on the Pathsetter loan rate. So that means that, and that's what we illustrate. We illustrate the maximum loan rate. That means that when they are ready to take out money during retirement, or when they have enough cash value to do so, their loan rate will never be above 5%. If you look at some other policies that are out there from other carriers, the max loan rate can go up to as much as 9 and 10%, because it's not guaranteed above 5% or lower. So having that guarantee of no more than 5% really takes out one of the major guesswork out of what's going to happen with your money in the future. Okay, since I think what the IUL does so well is it eliminates so much uncertainty in their future, right? With living benefits, it eliminates the uncertainty of getting sick. With this loan rate, it eliminates the idea that you might have to pay 10% on the money that you borrow, as opposed to only 5%. So the IUL is fantastic at eliminating all these uncertainties in life in the future. Obviously, the biggest one is the cash value growth and being able to take loans out tax-free. It eliminates, we don't know what tax rates are going to be 20, 30 years from now, because they could be the same, they could be lower. But if you ask anybody what they think, do you think they're going to be lower or higher? I've never had one person say, oh yeah, they're going to be so much lower 20 years from now. everyone knows that they're going to go higher. So we're going to have higher taxes most likely 20 or 30 years from now when we start taking money out of it. Those are the great things about why you sell IULs and everything. And then the last bullet point on here is exam-free underwriting. And I believe the next slide down, we'll talk more about that. Well, maybe a couple slides down. This is the Pathsetter. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Pathsetter, and then you can keep clicking through until we get to. Oh, I have this in totally the backwards way. That's okay. We'll talk about exam-free underwriting in a bit, but because that's really important. So we'll go and we'll do. Yeah, this slide is fine. This is just the boring sheet of issue ages 0 to 80. And when I say 0, I really mean 0. You can be 15 days old and get a Pathsetter. I think it's one of the greatest things you could do for a juvenile out there right now, starting a Pathsetter for them early, because it can solve so many problems for a child. And I'm really mad that it wasn't around when my parents were, when I was young. I have one for my daughter. I have one for my granddaughter and myself. But, they're going to be in such a different position financially when they're my age than I am, or, than anyone. And that's also their age, because we started this simple little plan, putting $200 a month in. My daughter will have $2.5 million of cash value by the time she's 50. My granddaughter will have like $3.5 million by the time she's 50, just because we started it when she's.
Now the argument is, though, do we give it to them or do we use it for ourselves?
Yeah, that's a funny argument too, because if you really look at, when it has that really significant cash value, you're going to probably be dead. So
I got to put in a trust, dude.
When my daughter is 50, I'm gone. I'm sorry. I don't think I'm gonna make it. So
my vitamins. Get my echinacea going, man. I gotta make sure I'm ginkgo and
yeah.
But I hear just like you're saying, this is such a massive capital influx and legacy that you can create for your family. I mean, it doesn't have to be, hey, she turns 50, she gets a lump sum check because not your kid or mine, but there's some degenerate kids out there that might just hang on and just, do nothing until then. But you can set markers of things they have to accomplish, or regardless, they can use that money towards funding a first home, or capital towards a business, there's all kinds of options. But you're leveraging their low mortality cost against the benefits and value of compound interest. And that's really where an IUL shines. I mean, it's 50 years of compound interest into the greatest tax savings and tax accumulation vehicles that have ever been created. So, it's phenomenal gift. So
it is. It's absolutely unbelievable.
I have one on all 4 of my children. So, that sounds like, but they're 50. I'll be 68. I mean, that sounds like $10 million to dad. I don't really know if I'm going to be able to get.
Were you 18 years old? My gosh, you started young, huh? Yeah.
No, you're right. Golly, I keep thinking I feel it's like Forever 21. I feel young, but I'm 30 now, Larry.
I'm sorry. Someone's got to put you in your place. I mean,
that's right. No, I forgot. No, she didn't. Yeah, I'm 36. I'll be 80. I'll be 90. I'll be done. I won't even care. I'll be like, listen, this money goes to making sure someone can wipe my butt. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're gonna be a billionaire by then. It's gonna have to pay for your estate taxes.
You need to figure it out. Take some of that IUL money and take care of dad. Moving on. Mom too.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, so that's incredible. That's why I say I don't care about anything else on this page. Minimum death benefit is 50,000. Again, it's got a lot of other stuff. We can go to the next slide. This one bores me. So these are the rock stars in the industry right now. These 3 new indexes. It's really 2 indexes, but there's an option on the Morgan Stanley. The first one is where I would put my, me personally, where I've put my money. It's because it's 110% par rate, and the look back. If you know what a look back is on it, a 20-year look back is averages 11.37%.
Wow,
an unbelievable performance. What they do that's just really unique is that they actually rebalance this Morgan Stanley index 7 times a day. Every hour that the market is open, they will actually rebalance between cash and between the S&P and the NASDAQ. So they move that money around if they need to, depending on the trends of the market during the day of the market. Every other index, that even the BlackRock, only does it once a day. So it's just incredible what they're doing and the amount of effort that they're putting into this, and it really shows in the results. Now, the one that we illustrate is the second one down. It's 90% participation rate, but a 1% bonus, because bonuses always illustrate a little better than just par rates, because we're only allowed to show a certain illustrative rate, which has to be the S&P rate that we have. So even though it says the illustrated rate 7.46, it's really going to illustrate it like 6.5 or somewhere around that with what our S&P illustrates, just because of the AG 49 regulations and all that fun stuff out there. Which to me, I mean, I'm not upset about that, because in sales, the number one thing is to underpromise and overdeliver. And
Yep.
so when you're reviewing, with your clients after a year or two of their policies being in force, you're going to see that, wow, these things outperform the illustrations significantly. And that's what's happening, in the last few years that we've, had the Pathsetter. The illustrations are really underwhelming compared to the actual performance of the product. So I'm not really upset about that. And then we have so those two, either one of those two are fantastic options. I just told you where I put mine, but you can leave it in the 90% par with the 1% bonus, and because what that creates is a floor of 1.25%, which means that no matter if the index ever performs that year at all, they're still going to get 1.25% in index crediting on that. The BlackRock, I think I have. Oh no, never mind. The BlackRock has a 160% participation rate with a 1% bonus. The reason being is that its target is about 6%, right? So its volatility target is 6%. That's all they're trying to do. The one thing I forgot to say about the Morgan Stanley, their volatility target is 12%, which is unheard of in indexes. So that's why the BlackRock is 160% to kind of make up for that that lower volatility target on there. And we can go to the next slide now, China.
One thing to comment though, always, Larry, is guys, these are just illustrations, right? An illustration means essentially a hypothesis, right? It's an educated guess. And the concept is though, the look back is far more valuable than the illustration, right? Betty, Bobby, when you look at how this has performed for the past 20 years, is it indicative of what it's going to do the next 20 years? We can't see the future. If we could, I'd head right down to the 7-Eleven and start buying some scratchers. But I can also make an educated guess that it should be on par. Now, well, what if the economy does this in the market and then Trump and Kamala? And okay, listen, got it. I got it. We've all got our opinions. But in the end, unless we're banking on the U.S. economy completely imploding, then the market's going to continue to progress. And the next 5 years look a lot like the last 5 years. The next 10 years look a little lot like the last 10 years. And there'll be ups and downs, sure. But over the past 20 years, there was all kinds of crazy stuff that happened. And it still performed over 11%. So guys, these are the words you want to use with your clients. This isn't unlawful, persuasive speak. It is fact. You're just helping your client see fact. But the government says, listen, you can't illustrate 11% because we can't guarantee that, because Bob and Betty may pull their money out after year 6 and we had 3 down years. And we illustrated a safe number, which is a reasonable way to be. And whether it's 6, whether it's 7, bonus, non-bonus, but just understand we're showing clients what is possible. And at the same standpoint, just as Larry made a very great point, is that we like to underpromise and overdeliver. And that's what F&G is striving to do here. So understand that when you're talking about IULs, is that it's an incredible product that should perform better than the illustration, but we can't say that, but we can say, just look at what it's done. And this is what you're in. So I don't, so put your money in, don't think about it. If you're saving in the bank or saving in a mattress, you're not going to touch it anyway. You're not trying to touch it for 10, 15, 20 years. So don't worry about it. Like, worry about it, but don't worry about it. They got billions and trillions of dollars. They're not going anywhere.
It's a great point. I mean, and you're the first person that said that it really has kind of struck at me. Like, when you look at the last 20 years, we've had 2 absolutely insane events in the market. We had 2008, the entire crash of the USA real estate economy. And then we had COVID, 2.5, 3 years of like complete shutdown. So I don't know in the next 20 years if we're going to get anywhere near any of those two crazy things happening.
It'll be summer. It'll be bird flu again. Bird flu will come back around. Everyone will be scared. Don't go outside. There's birds. No one's going getting gas because the birds, and no one's buying houses because that neighborhood has a lot of birds. It's going to be something. There'll be something bananas.
I'm hoping it's mad cow disease again because that was so much fun. Mad cow was great.
Yeah, mad cow, bird flu, or something, man. It's gonna be worm. It's gonna be worm flu. Oh my god! If you've got grass, you better tear up your grass right now. The worm flu is coming. There'll be something all over the freaking news. And
just move to Arizona. They don't have grass there, right?
Yeah, we got rocks. They ain't no rock flu. They ain't worried about rock flu in Arizona. We're fine out here.
All right, we can go to the next slide. This is just our other indexes that we're probably not going to use too much. We can skip over these two. Basically, we just talked about that already. I want to get to the living benefits, and then we'll go from there. So obviously, living benefits are a very important part of any product that's out there. I absolutely love the way that we structure ours. Number one, everybody gets them, even juveniles. So there's a lot of companies that will exclude juveniles from living benefits until they're 18, but we provide them for everybody. There's no elimination period, so they start day one. And the way that they're structured, the only one that's really kind of different is the chronic illness benefit, where it says up to 25% of the death benefit, which it could be worded better, because you're basically saying we don't want you to go through this entire amount in 4 years or in less than 4 years. We want to kind of spread it out as a claim over 4 years, because a chronic illness is mostly permanent. And most of the time, that 25% of the death benefit is going to be probably over the maximum allowable benefit anyway, as far as the IRS guidelines are on those. So but as far as qualifications, we're the same as everybody else. What qualifies for a critical illness, a terminal illness, chronic illness is identical to everything else.
Awesome.
Okay, we can go to the next slide. Actually, that one is just giving a, yes, this is it. This is the one. Okay, how many people love going through an exam? How many people want someone to come to their house and poke them with a needle and get blood, and then go have to do a really awkward urine specimen?
Every time a stranger comes over and asks me to pee in a cup, I go, what did I do wrong in life? Like, yes, that's not a normal thing to have to do that. But what do you got here, Larry?
So if you're writing a policy that's less than $1 million face, which I'd say the vast majority of IULs, unless they're massively overfunding this thing or massively funding it, are going to be under $1 million face amount, and ages 0 through 60. Again, the prime ages for people, we'll probably get, I would say probably 95% of the policies that come through our door at F&G are in this bracket right here. And so this is going to be the vast majority of the cases that you see. They will never go through an exam. The one caveat, there's two caveats. One of them is HIV. So if there's a history of HIV, regardless of age or face amount, they're gonna probably pull an APS and have an exam just to get current levels, actually current things. HIV is the one caveat. And then also, if you're writing a non-US citizen, those levels change slightly. It goes down to 300,000 only. And then in Puerto Rico, it's if it's 0 to 45 and they're applying for less than 150, that's also exam free. So those two things, HIV for everybody else that's US citizens, non-US citizens would be 300,000 face, same age bracket. In Puerto Rico, it's 0 to 45 and less than 150,000. And the reason being for that is just that we don't have enough information on non-US citizens and Puerto Rico's system as far as medical records and such. But when you're talking about, again, the vast majority of your clients, they're never going to get pivoted to an exam. It's not that if you're unhealthy, we're going to say, oh, you don't qualify for this, you're going to go get an exam. That's not what we do at F&G. At F&G, we say you're not getting one. The most that we'll do is if something's not matching from the application to the actual MIB pull or all the information that we pull, the worst thing we're going to do is a telephone interview just to verify that information. And then if it's a more complex medical case, we may ask for an APS to make sure, to see what the what the cardiologist said about you or what the cancer doctor said, and just verify those things through a more, detailed, exploration of your of the client's medical past. But again, even if you had like stage 3 cancer 10 years ago, you're not getting an exam. It's not going to pivot to an exam. It would be an APS, but you're not having an exam, so that's one thing that is really cool that you don't ever have to worry about. Now, sometimes it takes.
Has this been freshened, Larry? Is this continually being involved? Because I
It
had
is.
a lot of agents that have loved F&G, and then also some agents that have had, some stuff get stuck. And, that's always the concern is, I got the lead, I got the appointment, I finally got them on the phone, I got the presentation, I got through the app, and I got the sale, I got their banking info, I got their social, I got them jazzed on IULs, and then the carrier gets in the way, right? When it shouldn't be that way. The carrier should be like, like Jesus, open arms, bring me your huddled masses, and let's go eat fish, right? Like that carrier should just be here, making it happen. So where are you guys at with your underwriting evolution?
Yeah, so if you see on here from 0 to 17, it's called Insta Approval. So it's been exactly what it means. It's instantly approved, and we actually increased that 200,000 up to 500,000 for juveniles. So I haven't seen a juvenile case over 500,000 in about 5 years, and I think that one was an actual mistake that that they wrote it wrong. But so the vast majority of your juvenile cases will get instantly approved. I think we're up to around 45% on that. It's an evolving thing, like you said, Grady. It definitely evolves, and the more information, the more we find a way to get that information, the faster we can do things. We are not really pushing it yet, but we actually opened up Insta Approval for 18 to 60-year-olds. Now, you may get one of these, you may not get one yet. It's going to be an incredibly clean case, very very healthy individual, most likely. And the most important thing is making sure that the information on the application matches everything that we have, that we see, medical claims, lab history, all sorts of things like that. So the closer you are and the more digging you do as an agent up front, the faster things can turn around. We have a really good example in our underwriting team. We had one client that was on antidepressant medication, and she admitted it, and the agent had written in the comments why she was on it. I think she had just she lost her dad recently, and she went through a divorce, and it was like a temporary thing, and so she was prescribed this antidepressant medication, and she had refilled it a few times and such, and it was all listed right out there. She was approved the same day, like within 24 hours of the application, she got approved in the same day. That exact same case, if that medication is not listed on that she had, had that in the last 5 years or whatever, that same case took 22 days to go through underwriting, because we had to, number one, get a telephone interview, because we have to find out what was this for, right? The agent didn't tell us any information. They didn't put that medication on the application. So we have to wait for a telephone interview. That has to get reviewed by underwriting. And then we're going to want an APS, because depression medication could be for a whole variety of serious things. So we want to know why the doctor prescribed it, right? We're not just going to take the client's word for that. So by the time everything comes back to us, we're at 22 days, all for the exact same thing that could have been approved in the same day. If you dig in deep enough as an agent, and and I guess the point is just make sure that your clients understand, no matter what you had in your past, we're going to find it. We're really good at that. We're like the best detectives in the world when it comes to that. Because if you sign a HIPAA form, all your medical information is available to us. So, they're going to find it. We're going to find every time that you went to the doctor, every time they prescribed you something, every time you made any kind of medical claim, so even at like a little walk-in clinic, that kind of thing, all these things, like they all are available out there for us. So the more honest you are, and it really just kind of boils down to, do we want to do business with your client? Like, if they're not honest about their medical history, what else are they not honest about? And we're talking about putting forth a lot of face amount money if something happens, right? So yeah, that's exam free. So yes, we are We are into the 18 to 60. We're going to really start kind of promoting that the first part of the year. Our goal is to get to about 40% on that by this time next year, that about 40% of your cases will be instantly approved.
Wow.
But as we're working on that instant approval thing, we're also working on the straight through processing. So even if it's not instantly approved, it's approved in, let's say, 1 or 2 days. But once it's approved, the processing on the back end is going to be almost instantaneous. So yeah, so you're talking about like writing a policy on Monday and having it enforced on Wednesday, even if it's not instantly approved.
These are big boy policies. This is
Right.
this is awesome. So guys, the lines you want to say that Larry's coaching you on is when you talk to your clients, say Betty, they're going to find out. So it's better to just tell me now than for them to find out and then they don't want to approve you. So what are you taking a prescription? What have you taken in the last 5 years? And what have you also been prescribed but chosen not to take?
Right.
Like sometimes they'll get prescribed, it'll be at CVS, but then they won't get it or they'll fulfill it. But then no one knows that you didn't take it. You just go, well, I got it. It's sitting in the shelf, but I never took any of them. Well,
Right.
I don't, but you were prescribed it from a doctor for a reason. So this is Larry saying, disclose it all. Our job is disclose. When in doubt, disclose, right? Put it in there. Better to over communicate than under, because, there's a good chance that after 22 days, F&G goes, listen, there's too many things. We heard her coughing a lot on the phone too. And then her husband was asking her for, you put down non-smoker and he's in the background yelling, do you want a pack of Marlboro Lights? And I'm headed to the store. And like all of a sudden the person it's on a recorded, there's all kinds of things that happen. So just disclose it. And then you don't have to worry. So.
Yeah, that's great. That's it. That's great. Great advice. Yeah, exactly. And it just makes your life a lot easier because you're not chasing down things constantly. You actually have more time to sell, and move on to the next case for sure. But yeah, we're constantly improving on the processing side. And, I think the biggest point is that like, this is a product that if it's for a juvenile, they're going to have for 80 years of their life. If it's for someone like even in their 30s, they're going to have this product for 60 years, right? And when you look at the difference in performance between the Pathsetter and other carriers, you ask your customer, hey, do you mind waiting a week or so, or whatever to get approved or get it enforced? And I understand you as a sales agent want to get that commission. You want to get it. You want to keep churning that business. But you can do that on term, and you can do that on final expense. But I think this is one of those things that's worth the wait for sure. It's it's like finding the car of your dreams. You got to wait for a week or two for it to come in from another dealership. You're not going to just settle for what's on the lot. You're going to wait for that car. You got the right color interior, all the features that you want, and you got a good price on it, right? So that's the Pathsetter. It's the right color, it's the right interior, it's a great price. And man, can it perform? It can blow the doors off all the other cars on the lot. So it's totally worth the wait to me. And the more, I guess I would say, the more familiar you get with F&G and our policies and procedures and things like that, the easier it is for you. And this is our sales site. So we give you so much information on this; it's overwhelming. But if you go to this site, success.fglife.com/life-agent. You're going to find all of the information on the Pathsetter. You're going to find a whole bunch of video scenarios on how to build illustrations for different types of sales concepts and things like that. And then the most important thing is just reach out to us. We're here all the time, and we're very happy to help with any kind of questions you guys have.
Awesome.
And I think we're over time, so I don't want to.
No, you're great, Larry. That was fantastic. Guys, if you have any questions, you can reach out to Larry. This is what you want, everybody. You want a partner that wants to evolve. You don't want someone that's stuck in the mud and stuck in the past and going, this is the way we do it, and this is the way it is, and good luck, right? You want someone that sees what's happening in the industry, faster underwriting, faster exam processing, all these things, getting the client covered, you paid, and on to the next client. And that's what F&G is here to do, to partner with us. And so excited to have you on, buddy. And Amy, thank you for all your back end support. Final thoughts, Larry? Any final thoughts?
Oh yeah, well, just go to National Convention. Please get your tickets for that. I'll see you there. Amy's going to be there. I'll be there. we'll have our booth. You can come up and please come up and introduce yourself. Say you're on Grady's team, that you saw us on this call or whatever, and we'll be happy to chat with you guys. And we're gonna have popcorn there, so you can't beat that.
You guys always have good swag, man. Appreciate it. So awesome, Larry. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amy. Guys, drop a TYLM in the chat below. Thank you, Larry Mallek. All right, and everybody, guys, it's November, and you've got yourself in a position to go close out and crush this last part of the year. December is the best month to sell life insurance. And for all of us here in the industry, for all of you that are getting started, go make it happen. So appreciate you, Larry. Appreciate you, Amy. Thank you, everybody. Bye for now.